Employment is essential to human development, as it improves everyone's standard of living and quality of life. On this episode of Government in Action, we zero in on the transformative nature of programs such as the government's Sustainable Livelihood and Entrepreneurial Development Initiative, which recently awarded 99 young entrepreneurs. But this is just one initiative and is part of the government's overall strategy to tackle an endemic problem. To date, youth unemployment remains a central issue affecting young people in Guyana. Recognizing this, President David Granger and his administration have designed a two-pronged approach to youth empowerment. The first leg is education. But why education when people need jobs now? Yes, they do, but the President has lamented the significant issue of school dropouts, pointing out that on average, 4,000 children drop out of school each year. And of those who do complete school, many do not matriculate or achieve enough passes to make them employable.
Education is one of the state's most important functions. Education unlocks opportunities for young people who must be prepared to grasp opportunities for self-employment. Youths must be educated if they are to improve their performance and if they are to acquire correct attitudes, correct values, and correct skills in order to secure employment.
While training and vocational education will no doubt empower a generation of talented young people who just needed a second chance, the administration has demonstrated that it is interested in inculcating a culture of industry and entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship will stimulate employment in industries, including agro-processing and micro-industries in rural and hinterland communities. Entrepreneurship will be promoted so that more persons, including young people, could start up their own businesses and become self-employed.
In this regard, programs have been developed to push entrepreneurship and to provide the necessary support for budding entrepreneurs. One such initiative is the Hinton Employment Youth Service, which was launched in October last year. This is an exchange program where persons teach, discuss, learn, and exchange experiences and knowledge in order to improve their standard of living and contribute positively to the development of their communities. The program includes training and capacity building in plumbing, carpentry, sewing, wiring, among many other vocational areas. It targets 2,000 youth in 106 communities across the hinterland regions and is in keeping with President David Granger's promise of improving the lifestyle and standards of living for youth and young adults who reside in the hinterland areas. In December last, the Linden Enterprise Network was launched. The program provides entrepreneurs across Linden and other parts of the Upper Demerara-Berbice region the opportunity to access loans to further expand or consolidate their businesses. At that event, President David Granger, in his address to the entrepreneurs, said that the program will open new doors for occupation through self-employment, adding that there are 4 pillars necessary for enterprise: investment, information, infrastructure, and innovation.
So some professions encourage you to SAVE, and other professions sometimes, unfortunately, allow you to SPEND. But LEN is one that will encourage you to be more prudent, because we're not dealing here with civil servants and wage laborers. We're dealing with people who want to be enterprising. What the E means in LEN? Aha! Enterprise, right? Not Linden Employees Association, Linden Employees Network, but Linden Enterprise Network. So we have to talk about enterprise.
This Enterprise Network initiative is expected to be replicated across Guyana in the capital towns as government is considering budgetary allocations to make this possible in the 2017 budget. However, more recently, several young people were provided with funding to aid in their entrepreneurial endeavors through the government's Sustainable Livelihood and Entrepreneurial Development Initiative, SLED. Through this initiative, scores of young people are given the chance to tap into resources that allow them to become business owners, or in other words, be their own boss. The SLED initiative was launched in September last year by the Government of Guyana under the Ministry of Communities as a means of introducing job creation measures to promote micro and small-scale enterprises so as to open opportunities for the disadvantaged and the country's youth. The initiative has, since its implementation, enabled 99 youth business startups from among the Essequibo Islands West Demerara, Demerara Mahaica, Mahaica Berbice, East Berbice Quarantine, and the Upper Demerara Berbice regions. President David Granger, who delivered the feature address at the event, said that the SLED initiative is part of a program that reinforces the administration's efforts to stimulate economic development in communities, especially at the grassroots level.
Employment enhances people's lives and also economic development. This administration is committed to generating employment. The pre-independence administration bequeathed a legacy of youth unemployment. The establishment first of the Guyana Youth Corps in 1967 and later the Guyana National Service in 1973 were the earliest attempts by the government to train young people for the world of work.
The president said that the SLED initiative therefore contradicts criticisms that his government has no employment plan, particularly in the area of youth unemployment. He stated that the answer to tackling this issue can be found through investments in education and entrepreneurship. Minister of Communities, Mr. Ronald Bulkan, in his remarks said that the providence of the SLED initiative is contained in the vision of the president, who at the time of expressing this vision was opposition leader, and who spoke of the challenges facing the country's young people, including the high rate of unemployment. He stated that the beneficiaries and entrepreneurs are among the first to take advantage of this helping hand offered by the government.
This initiative tries to ensure that we don't leave anyone out of the loop of having that better life. Every intervention has a key component, as we have heard, of training, mentoring, and technical support, even after a project has been implemented. Building capacity, however, building the capacity, ability, and the right to earn and sustain a livelihood of the most vulnerable in society would be futile and unsustainable if this is not complemented by institutional strengthening at the local government and community level that can offer support mechanisms and services to strengthen local economic activity at the grassroots level.
Through the SLED initiative, 11 groups received funding in the areas of capacity building, training, and support at the micro, small, and medium enterprise level. Among these groups included the Skills and Knowledge for Youth Employment Program, sponsored by the United States Agency for International Development, the Plaisance Sparendam Good for Acting Development Association, and the For the Children's Sake Foundation. Chief of Party for the Sky Project, Ms. Magda Wills, said that the USAID-funded program had been working to help young people start their own business since 2011, but due to the overwhelming response over the years, ran short on funding. It was here that the SLED initiative came in, providing an additional $22.2 million to the group.
We're seeing a lot in the news where every time there's a robbery, they speak of youth being involved in things that are unsavory. If we're to continue working with the youth population, and more so the at-risk youth population, the youth who really need assistance, who don't have the support from family and the economic backing, if they're allowed this opportunity, you can see a reduction in a lot of social ills in Ghana. You'll see more so a reduction in crime, because as much as we've recognized that youth have the get-rich-quick syndrome, they also understand that it's a hit and miss where crime is concerned. And if you can give them the opportunity to actually do something with themselves and show them that, hey, I can actually make something of myself, have them believe in themselves, trust me, you're going to see a changed society.
But to speak of the SLED initiative is to focus on the young people themselves who have benefited, young people who felt forgotten and were otherwise unable to access employment due to personal disadvantages in their lives, were through access to SLED able to turn their lives around and make a difference in their communities and provide for themselves. Ms. Tiffany Peters is one such youth who, prior to joining the SKY program and receiving funding through SLED, had encountered some difficulties in her own life. Ms. Peters was among several young people who were granted amnesty under President David Granger's policy of giving second chances to non-violent, non-cocaine offenders. Today, She's the proud owner of a poultry farm at her home in Garden of Eden, East Bank, Demerara.
So far, I've had one batch which I categorize ended fairly well. Like most other businesses, I've had challenges such as the weather, me being inexperienced in this area of business, etc. But in the end, I was able to overcome those set challenges by utilizing the knowledge that was imparted to me from the BYOP training. I was able to make a substantial profit and thus far made a turnover and started a second batch, which I know will be better than the last. Since I was able to gain practical experience in the day-to-day operations of my business.
Ms. Colette Burgess, who spent some time in the New Opportunity Corps, shared that the training taught her key life lessons in addition to helping her to start her poultry rearing business.
But all of this could have never been possible without His Excellency, Mr. David Granger. I would like to say thanks to him and his team that has given us this opportunity to gain from the SLED funding. Thank you for helping youths like myself being a part of a world or feeling that we are a part of a world that won't lock us out of anything. Because sometimes when we don't have jobs and for people that work, we feel left out in some way. We feel that we have not fitted into anything. But because of you and your team, sir, we're thankful that we have our own businesses and we can reap of our own benefits.
Mr. Akeem Williams shared that he was once unemployed with many ideas, but was unsure as to how to bring these ideas to fruition. Today, he operates a successful business which produces honey, peppermint, crabwood, and coconut oil.
After completing the training, which lasted 5 weeks, I was contacted by my coach who proposed to me that I can pursue further training to become my own boss, an advanced component of the SKY program, of which I agreed once again. I then went on to complete that training within 2 weeks duration, which was the best 2 weeks of my life, because I knew after that I would have been my own boss. My coach then followed through with strict coaching that prepared me to become a successful business owner by guiding me with successful strategies to start up my own business.
Mr. Mario Parsram lives in Sophia and through said funding was able to start up his business Rio Designs, which specializes in the branding of t-shirts and other items.
I was lucky to be one fortunate person among the hundreds. I feel like it's a growing something. It's a very good initiative that the government actually put in place to help the youth, because right now we see that the youth are the future and we're lacking the finance, we're lacking the support, and it's good that the government take the opportunity to help the youth. The idea of pressing came when I did a t-shirt right in the city mall by some of my friends, Tariq and stuff. So I was like, this is very easy. This is just a 2-minute thing and you can get a t-shirt within 2 minutes or less. So I was like, this is something I could take up, and it's something that's very profitable. And it's not really in Guyana to a large extent compared to like grocery or store and so forth. So I decided to take it up and take it very serious, and I shoot it to my coach, and he was like, it's a good idea. We can work with it.
Ms. Adicia Henry has been operating her own grocery store for 5 months now and is grateful for the SLED initiative for giving her the opportunity to work from home while taking care of her daughter.
I feel proud of myself and most of the young people who go to the program and actually finish it, because most people just go and they say it was hard in a way and they didn't finish it, although it was a short time. So for the young people that do it, I feel proud of them. In this course, they teach you that business is a thing that it don't always run the way you want it. But if you got patient and you could sit down and wait, it will run the way you want it.
Such initiatives will help to mold Guyana's future, and they reinstate the government's commitment to ensuring a good life for all through education, employment, and enterprise. Moreover, as time progresses, through the government's commitment, we will see the introduction of more such programs that aim to ensure that the country's young people indeed get the chance to enjoy this good life. The President believes that these initiatives can tackle the problem of unemployment and can create a generation of young people who will become the new entrepreneurial class. This is Jasmine Payne. Thank you for joining us.